All right, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. So, if this type of stuff was happening in the Caribbean or in Jamaica, to be specific, people would expect me to talk about it, right? And it's happening in the United States of America, and I am going to speak about it. Not because I don't want anyone saying, oh, you only talk about bad stuff when it happens in Jamaica, but when it happens overseas, like in the US where you live, you don't speak about it. Well, if you know my channel well, you know that SouFLoTV speaks about things from all around the world. This one is no different though, and this one needs to be spoken about. So this seems to be a commonplace in the United States of America, and it is the mass shootings where one individual or a couple of individuals feel that it's okay for them to pick up high automatic weapons, fully loaded, and walk into crowded spaces and shoot down multiple people in one go. This is something that I am sure has many people in the United States of America paranoid. I can tell you that I, for one, I am not paranoid, but as an individual that has been trained to the best of my ability by the United States military, I know that it is important for me to get in and out of public spaces, not to stay and hang around in crowds, because things like these happen all too often. So yesterday, a gunman opened fire on Saturday at a shopping center in El Paso, Texas. Today is Sunday, August the 4th. So yesterday, Saturday, August the 3rd, this happened in El Paso, Texas. Those of you who know SouFLoTV knows also that I work in the field of occupational therapy, and I travel to Texas on a regular basis, taking contracts to do this work as a travel therapist. Now, El Paso is not too far from where I just left from Texas. This is the area in which I play and earn a living. Okay? So, this gunman walks into a crowded shopping space, which is a Walmart, and killed 20 people and injured more than a dozen more. Okay, so here's a list of some of the deadliest mass shootings in the United States of America in the last 2 years. Yes, 2 years, because it happens that often. So let's start out with dragging your memory to May 31st of 2019. There was a longtime city worker, Dwayne Craddock, who opened fire in a building that houses Virginia Beach government offices. He killed 12 people and wounded several others before he was gunned down by police. Now, I know you're saying they're all white guys. Well, Dwayne Craddock was a black guy. Yes, majority of them are white guys. February 15th, 2019, Gary Martin, he killed 5 co-workers at a manufacturing plant in Aurora, Illinois. During a disciplinary meeting where he was fired, he wounded 1 other employee and 5 of the first police officers to arrive at the suburban Chicago plant before he was killed during a shootout with the police. November 7th, 2018, Ian David Long killed 12 people at a country music bar in Thousand Oaks, California, before taking his own life. Long was a Marine combat veteran of the war in Afghanistan. And I know y'all thinking, well, these military people do snap. Well, guess what? If that was really true, then you guys would see a whole lot more mass shootings. I'm thinking this is a one-off. Okay, so in October 27th of 2018, Robert Bowers is accused of opening fire at Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania during Shabbat morning services, killing 11 and injuring others. It's the deadliest attack on a Jewish facility in the U.S. in history. June 28th of 2018, Jared Ramos shot through the windows of the Capital Gazette offices in Annapolis, Maryland, before turning the weapon on employees there and killing 5 of them at the Capital newspaper. Authorities say that Ramos had sent threatening letters to the newspaper prior to the attack. Y'all thought I'm done? This is just in 2 years. May 18th of 2018. Demetrios Parotzis began shooting during an art class at Santa Fe High School in Santa Fe, Texas. The 17-year-old killed 8 students and 2 teachers, and 13 others were wounded. Explosives were found at the school and off campus. February 14th of 2018, Nicholas Cruz shot and killed 17 students and staff members at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. It surpassed Columbine High School as the deadliest shooting at a high school in U.S. history. And if you don't remember, XXXTentacion, the rapper that passed away, this was his hometown, and he actually made a song that sold millions of copies that had something to do with this incident. November 5th, 2017, Devin Patrick Kelly, who has been discharged from the U.S. Air Force after a conviction of domestic violence, he used an AR-15 style firearm to shoot up a congregation at a small church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, killing more than 24 people. Wow. October 1st of 2017, Stephen Paddock opened fire at a outdoor music festival on the Las Vegas Strip from the 32nd floor of a hotel casino, killing 58 people and wounding more than 500. SWAT teams with explosives then stormed his room and found that he had committed suicide, killed himself. Now, whatever weapon allows one person to kill 58 people and wound 500 more, then there are people right now that are saying that that type of a weapon should be made illegal to civilians and should only be made legal to law enforcement officials. I have my own theories on that because those weapons are already out there in the streets in the millions. So I don't think people are going to give up their high-powered weapons so easily, especially in the United States of America, where people believe that their guns will protect them from the government if the government ever goes crazy. And it's written in their constitutional laws for them to have the right to bear arm and protect themselves in case there is a uprising. However, so brings us to the latest one. El Paso, 21-year-old gunman armed with a powerful rifle turned a crowded Walmart into this majority Hispanic border city into a scene of chaos and bloodshed on Saturday, stalking shoppers in the aisles in an attack that left at least 20 people dead and 26 others wounded, the authorities have said. For several minutes late on Saturday morning, the packed Walmart near the Cielo Vista Mall on the city's east side filled with gun smoke and the echo of gunfire. Workers and customers, some bloodied, fled out the doors. Others huddled in the aisles or on the ground. Okay, listen. If you're in a building and someone walks in the building and starts shooting, well, if you're in a building, you're in a Walmart, you're shopping in a shopping center and you hear gunshots, pow, 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 pow. Do not lay down on the ground and just stay there. If someone is walking through shooting people, you just made yourself an easy target. Okay? Find cover, but keep moving towards an exit. Texas grieves for the people of El Paso today, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, told reporters. On a day that would have been a normal day for someone to leisurely go shopping, turned into one of the most deadliest days in the history of Texas. Now, let me tell you this. So, this guy is white. He is also a big Donald Trump supporter. He is also against Hispanics taking over Texas, as he calls it. The Hispanic invasion of Texas is what he calls it. It's funny enough because Texas borderlines lands that makes it easy for Hispanics to come on over into Texas, but historically that land was a part of those people's land. Now, here's another thing that I find very crazy is that this guy decides that he wants to go shoot up the place, right? But remember, the Trump-led administration, ICE, was supposed to do mass raids, and they were supposed to target 2,100 families that are eligible for deportation or have been given their walking papers, but they have gone on the run. In places like these where he just did this mass shooting, these places are known as sanctuary cities because you have police department, government officials, and regular citizens that protect people that come across the border and they live there illegally. And the people protect them because they believe that they have a right to citizenship there or a right to live there and work there. Well, someone said to me recently, SouFlo, listen, if the government does not fix it, then the patriots will. And I thought the same thought in my head. White men picking up big guns and doing mass murders. And here we have one of those cases with exactly the same narrative. Now imagine if this starts to happen on a regular basis, even more regular than what it has been happening before. Wow. So, as we read, someone said, I saw people crying, children, old people, all in shock, shaking. I saw a baby. The baby must have been about 6 to 8 months old with blood all over it. The authorities identified the gunman as Patrick Crusius from a Dallas suburb. He was taken into custody after he surrendered to the police outside of Walmart, the same Walmart he just shot up. He surrendered peacefully. Imagine that. The authorities said that they were investigating a manifesto Mr. Crusius, who is white, may have posted before the shooting, which described an attack in response to the Hispanic invasion of Texas. Okay? He may have posted a manifesto online, which described an attack in response to what he calls the Hispanic invasion of Texas. I'm just baffled how it continues to happen. Like, black guys driving down the street ends up getting shot, and they're unarmed, or gets choked to death and they're unarmed. But white guys continue to walk into public spaces, shoot, kill, and injure people, 20 people at a time, 24 people, 15 people, 50 people, killing 50, injuring 500, and they get to either commit suicide or surrender peacefully and are taken into custody peacefully. Anyways, that's how things work here. Minutes before the shooting, though, a manifesto had appeared online. The manifesto the chief appeared to be referring to was an anti-immigrant online screed titled The Inconvenient Truth. The post declares support for the gunman who killed 51 people in Christchurch, New Zealand. Outliners fear about Hispanics gaining power in the United States and appear to discuss specific details about elements of the attack, including weapons. The 4-page manifesto was posted on 8chan, an online forum where the Christchurch gunman also announced his attack before carrying it out. It appeared to have been published at 10:20 a.m., 19 minutes before the first 911 call, according to an archived version of the website. Hispanics will take control of the local and state government of my beloved Texas, changing policy to better suit their needs, the manifesto said. It added that politicians of both parties are to blame for the United States rotting from the inside out, and that the heavy Hispanic population in Texas will make us a Democratic stronghold. He is a Republican. The shooting came 6 days after a gunman killed 3 people at a garlic festival in Gilroy, California, and in that shooting, the gunman shot and killed himself after exchanging gunfire with the police. The massacre in El Paso was the deadliest American mass shooting since November of 2017, but not the deadliest in history, because I believe the biggest one so far was the one in October 1st of 2017 when Stephen Paddock opened fire at an outdoor music festival in Vegas, killing 58 people and wounding some 500 people. The president pledged total support for federal government to state the local authorities and spoke about the shooting with Mr. Abbott, the governor, who headed to the scene of the attack on Saturday afternoon. Man, listen, it is just crazy. It is crazy, but it is what it is at this point, and we just have to be vigilant out in public, and we have to realize that there are people out there that are twisted mentally and believe that it is their right to do things like these. The possibility that the anti-Hispanic motive might be behind the attack angered and startled residents and officials of the city of 682,000 residents. This is about hate, El Paso's Democratic Congresswoman, Representative Veronica Escobar, said in an interview. Well, why would you be surprised that it's about hate? A lot of what has been gained was gained through hateful actions. Officials said it was too early to discuss possible motives, but Chief Allen said that the attack has the nexus at this point and time to a hate crime. The FBI will be looking into that with other federal authorities. The FBI is reviewing evidence to determine whether to move forward with this federal charge, said Mr. Emerson. Well, Texas authorities said that they were conducting murder investigations with the potential for other lines of inquiry. Listen, in El Paso on Saturday night, more than 200 people gathered at the church in a vigil, and they gave their little speeches about how it could have been any one of us. And I just want the families who are mourning to know that they're not alone, and it's hard to imagine the pain that they're experiencing right now. And the gunfire on Saturday in El Paso began shortly after 11 a.m. Early morning, Saturday morning. That's when everyone's at the grocery store trying to get some shopping done before they can go home and have a barbecue with the family or go out to the beach or backyard relaxation time or whatever. You know, you're getting stuff done early Saturday morning. Happened around 11 a.m. Well timed. And I'm willing to bet that he actually scoped out this Walmart and saw when was the most busiest hours. This is in a popular commercial district with scores of restaurants and stores that are often crowded this time of the weekend. The Walmart store near Harkin Boulevard and Gateway Boulevard West was packed at the time of the attack. The timestamp on the security camera footage of the gunman walking in was 10:39 a.m. Chief Allen said the first officer on scene arrived 6 minutes later at 10:45 a.m. Now, I did a video yesterday where I spoke on, off topic a little bit, but I spoke on police response in Jamaica as far as how quick it would take the police officers to respond to an incident like this or any crime and violence. Anyways, notification, and see here, it is time-stamped on camera that it took the police department 6 minutes to respond to the shooting. 6 minutes before the first officer was on scene. So kudos to them for that, right? Sergio, a clerk in the garden section, said that he believes that the gunman entered through the automotive section of the store and he said he was on break. And while he was heading back to the garden center, he heard gunshots. I'm lucky, he said. One of my friends was shot. I saw another customer running out of the store with a shot in his back. I was so shocked. Victor Gamboa, who is 18 years old, who works at the Walmart that is inside, works at the McDonald's that is inside of the Walmart, said that he heard shots and he saw smoke. I saw a man on the floor, full of blood, he said. He appeared to be dead. It happened very quickly. He also said that other McDonald's workers sheltered the customers to keep them safe and huddled on the ground for about 15 minutes. Officers eventually arrived and escorted the group out to a Sam's Club store that's across the street. Another person said, El Paso said the hospital was treating 11 victims ranging in ages from 35 to 82. 9 of them were in critical but stable condition and 2 were in stable condition. The University Medical Center of El Paso received 13 patients right away. He said 2 minors, including a 2-year-old, had been stabilized and transferred to El Paso Children's Hospital. So this gunman was not shooting and thinking, okay, I'm shooting adults only, no children. Even a 2-year-old picked up gunshots. Okay? A lot of injuries, a lot of suffering in El Paso right now. And I'm incredibly sad, and it's incredibly hard to think about this. Very hard to think about this, but I'll tell you, El Paso is one of the strongest places in the world. And this is the mayor speaking. One of the strongest places in the world, and we will overcome this too. A man had actually just asked Congresswoman Escobar to let the president of the NRA know that he wanted to debate him on gun violence. Miss Murga said the man was a veteran and said he did not value guns more than lives. One by one, police officers at the town hall left, and one of the staff members approached the Congresswoman to let her know the police wanted everyone to evacuate. I didn't realize it would be this serious, Miss Murga said. So even while this was happening, there was a debate going on between Congresswoman at a town hall meeting and someone debating. So the man actually just asked Congresswoman Escobar to let the president of the NRA, National Rifle Association, know that he wanted to debate them on gun violence in the country. Because like I said, there are groups of people who believe that this high-powered weapons that allows you to kill 58 people and wound over 500 more in one go should not be given to regular people. They should be reserved for law enforcement officials only, or military personnel. Anyways, leave your comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this one. Yep. It's another sad day, and I do believe there will be many more. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.